Bale Friends. Yeah. Casey and Monica. And Monica.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Ann with Andale Homestead.
Hello, everyone. It is Casey over at Ormsby Farm in the Halfway Homestead.
Hey, it's Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
Y'all, we are excited tonight because as you see from the background, we have fully submerged into the holidays, the holiday season. And what better way to start really talking about the holiday season than talking about non-commercialized Christmas? Now, before we get started and before we talk about anything else, I do want to say that there's probably going to be a lot of different views that are talked about on tonight's episode. Some that you may not personally agree with, but let's try to keep all of the comments down below holly and jolly and maybe a little bit bright. You know, like just because you may not agree with some things does not mean they are wrong choices or opinions or ways that somebody chooses to celebrate. So I wanted to just put that up first before we got started because this is a holiday episode. We should feel joy, but we really felt called to do an episode about this specific topic. Right, Monica?
Absolutely. Okay, so based on that, after you had to give a disclaimer for our Christmas episode, I would just like to say that for this episode of our non-commercialized Christmas, we're not doing a sponsor because you know why? Shop local. Go to your local small business. You can go online still and shop. Just make sure you protect your information online shopping. We can talk about that another time, but we want you to shop local. We want you to shop those friends and family. We all know we have them. People that have maybe an MLM. Yeah, that's taboo, but I'm going to say it. Shop the MLM because even though it's a bigger business, it's still a small business for that person. Maybe that mom or that dad relies on it. So shop with your family, shop with your friends, or make something and give it as a beautiful gift. That is our non-commercialized Christmas non-sponsor. There you go.
Now, what is MLM?
MLM is multi-level marketing, like a 31 or like like Tupperware or Pampered Chef, right? Yeah, there you go. There's so Mary Kay. So maybe you have a friend of yours that loves eyeliner or whatever, and you're like, oh my goodness, I know my other friend, my girlfriend sells Mary Kay. I'm gonna buy such and such an eyeliner for Christmas because I think that would be such a blessing for her, and I just think that'd be great. And you buy that. That's your shopping local. You're shopping with your friends and your family. And again, Mary Kay's a big business, but for that mom or that dad, that could make the difference between one bill or another during this time of year. And so you're still shopping small. So,
okay, cool. That sounds wonderful. So, Casey, what in the world we're doing tonight? What are we talking about?
With non-commercialized Christmas.
Do we have a guest or something to help us?
Want to be here? I don't know.
I was wondering that too, who we have.
Hello, who is this?
Carmen, still, the lady answering the door still sounds a little bit aggravated. All these episodes that you have been on, you'll probably notice that Carmen pretty much has been here like the whole entire season. But we thought, who better to talk about this specific topic than Carmen and her dog.
And Spotsy. Yes. Spotsy wants to come in and talk about it too.
There we go. That sounds great.
Spotsy's like adopt local as well.
Well, when you hear this topic, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear non-commercialized Christmas?
Well, the first thing up until about 5 minutes ago, the first thing that I thought of as far as non-commercial Christmas was handmade, homemade, that kind of thing. to not go to Walmart and you buy everybody something that they don't need because you're just getting it for them to be able to have a I'm thinking of you something. So that was my thought of a non-commercial Christmas, is to not have it means so much more to me when it's made in your home, made by yourself, made by someone that you love, someone that you care about, some sort of handmade item. That's
Right.
what it means. How about you, Casey?
Well, I mean, last week on the episode, we were talking with Sandy about, homemaking your decorations. So I think the same kind of realm comes into place. And next week, we're talking about handmade gifts. It's now that I've gotten older, it means more
It does.
handmade gifts than it does something that you may have paid way too much money for. Because then that just makes me feel bad that you paid that much money. And then I'm angry that that company charged that much money. And then it totally defeats the purpose of you being grateful for getting a gift. So,
Right. That's right.
handmade, yes. I'm down for the handmade.
So how about you, Carmen, as far as what's the first thing that comes to your mind when we say non-commercial Christmas?
Okay, so for me, you first have to think of what commercialized Christmas is. If you were to ask me like, hey, what is commercialized Christmas? I would first think of like all the movies that we grew up watching, like Home Alone, and Christmas with the Cranks, and things like that, where like all they're doing is shopping, like lots and lots of shopping. And when you have big families, that can get very stressful, very.
Yes.
And I've noticed, because I grew up in a family where the tree, like you didn't even see the tree. There were so many gifts in the living room that I remember as a child, I got tired of opening gifts. Like it literally became like, here's the next one, and you didn't really get to, it was just so much.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so like, I that's commercialized to me. It to the point where it's like you feel the pressure on yourself to have to give, not
Right.
to lovingly give, but
Yes.
oh wait, if I give Susan one, I have to give her brother one, and if I give her brother one, he has 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like it becomes this very stressful situation.
Yep.
So non-commercialized to me is kind of like getting rid of the stress and trying your best to just have more, to do Christmas more simply.
Yep.
Yes. Gotcha. And you,
Yeah.
Monica, how about you? What comes to mind when you think of non-commercial Christmas?
I'm really with Carmen on that. A lot of it. I came from a household very similar. I mean, I was one of 3 kids, and my parents, they gave us so much, and it was phenomenal. I had a great childhood with Christmas, and not that I'm trying to change that because I'm unhappy with it, but I'm unhappy with it. My kids, as soon as, well, first of all, Eric's birthday is November 5th. So the minute November 1st happens,
Mhm.
my children are already starting in on me. Mom, can we put the tree up? So every year for Eric's birthday, we put the Christmas tree up.
Yeah.
Because for him, that is a gift. Really, truly. It's that has nothing to do with Jesus. Okay. That Christmas tree has everything to do with Eric. He loves the light. He likes sitting there. He'll go in there in the middle of the evening, turn everything off, turn the Christmas tree lights on, and just sits there and just breathes and relaxes, compresses. That is about him. And I'm okay with that. Because to me, that is not commercialized. That is about my husband and giving him a gift. So that starts. I'm like, literally, I am that person that has the Christmas tree up for like 12 weeks, guys. This is why we have a fake tree. But that tree isn't about Christmas. That tree is more about him and what makes him like peace. And then he'll go do his Bible studies there in the mornings. He'll spend mornings sitting out there just drinking a cup of coffee by the fire and the Christmas tree, just relaxing. And if that makes him happy, that's what I want to do. So for me, non-commercialized Christmas really is about finding things that bring peace and joy to the holiday season. One of the things we do is we have started there's a book series that we follow where we have these little like we have the wise men, and it's the wise men story. And we put the wise men, now Eric has made it into a game where he hides the wise men around the house and my kids have to go find them. But then I read the story every night as to where the wise men are in that tradition and where they're going leading up to Christ. And one of the big things we do every single year, which is non-commercialized, and it's not even about gift giving, it's about giving the gift of prayer. And every year, you've probably seen those little paper chains, you know, you made when you were a kid where you glued them together. And so what we do is from December 1st all the way to December 25th, we make up 25 prayer chain prayers, and we put someone in the family, our friends, people that we know, and we put their name on the prayer chain and we link them. And so we put it up on the tree. And every night before the boys go to bed, usually it's my 3 youngest, they'll grab one of the links from the prayer chain. Of course, they obviously fight because they're boys, and they fight over who's going to, do the prayer chain prayer. They pull it off, they read who it is, and they pray as a group. We all pray as a team for that person every single night in December. And it's such a special thing because they connect with those people and they ask, who's on the prayer chain tonight? And they rip from one end or the other. But I don't miss a beat when it comes time to, usually I make the prayer chain right after Thanksgiving, and we'll even add extra week to it if we need to. And we count all the days till Christmas. And then sometimes even after Christmas, they'll say, we should still pray for this person, Mom. And for me, that is non-commercialized Christmas. That is about the experience. That is about centering my kids and grounding them in Christ. And they're going to get gifts because we have parents and grandparents and things. But for them, it's about giving that gift of prayer, giving that gift of their time and their energy, and putting it back into what we should do as Christians. And so that's probably one of my favorite things that we do is traditions. Those things you can't buy at the store.
I've never heard of that.
It's such a great idea.
It is a fabulous idea. I would love to share that with my grandchildren.
Yeah, Worth will be on our prayer chain for sure this year because my kids already pray for him. So he will be on our prayer chain by now. So,
and we're definitely feeling it. We're definitely feeling it.
That's a fun thing to do.
That's wonderful. Now, as far as non-commercial gift giving, and because there's no way to actually, like it has said before, our children and their children are spoiled. If anybody wants anything, they go out and get it. So I try really hard to find, like, the only thing that my daughter-in-law said, just get me a bag of Redmond's real salt. I'll be thrilled to death.
Yeah.
So I try to do that and make things, canned goods. I told them that this year they're going to be shopping at Andale Homestead. They're going to get some Andale Homestead products, those kinds of things. They said that would be fantastic. It would be fabulous. So,
well, one of the things I think you had said years ago that you did was you got your kids, you bought your kids, a portion of a cow, right? And you bought them meat to fill their freezer. You're able to give your children gifts that are something that maybe they wouldn't be able to buy for themselves. And it's a huge blessing on them, whether you do it in November or whether you do it in December,
right?
Giving them that gift of really encouraging them and helping them eat healthier and choosing something that is not a commercialized thing, right?
Yeah, we did. We would buy a meat package at the local butcher and individualize all the packaging and have it frozen and ready to go in a cooler when they got here. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Okay.
What else can you add? Yeah. Right? What else would you add, Carmen? I mean, like when we're talking about the whole grand scheme of things, non-commercialized, what else can you add to that?
Okay, so we don't do gifts within each other. We're just so blessed that, when we need something and we're able to pay for it, we just pay for it throughout the year. If my kids need something, we just get it. So when it comes down to the month of December, it's like, I just don't like the pressure of giving a gift. I think that boils down the whole thing. It's not necessarily too big of a religious thing. People go down to like saying paganism or whatever, but it's not that. Like, it literally is just like, I feel like if I'm going to give something to you, it shouldn't be because I feel like I have to, what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I want to give that to my kids. I want my kids to know that throughout the year, if they're like, hey, this reminds me of my friend Ashley. Do you think you can buy this for them, Mommy? Can I give that to them? Yeah, sure. And if it's January 4th when that happens, I can do that.
Yeah.
So one thing we do though is we have a winter village. My husband's mom was huge on the village. The thing, like she had all the pieces, ginormous village, and as they got older, she split them all to his siblings and him. So we have like a few really special like pieces from her, and the kids, of course, every year we they wanted to add on to this village. So I was like, okay, we've got to figure out something that's going to work because this is not something like we can just buy a whole bunch of pieces and, you know, especially the certain pieces that we want that kind of fit her older pieces. So one item in December we buy as a family to this little village, whether it's a little person, a little tree, or if we find like a little, because sometimes they'll be like a marketplace, like online Facebook marketplace. People will be getting rid of like, I guess, whatever matches her stuff. And we're like, okay, we can buy that one piece and we'll buy it. And so the village is like growing every year. And it's just the sweetest because the kids, because we don't do so much in the month of December, I guess their memory of like each piece is very like, they remember it really well when we got it, you know, what it was like. So it's super duper special.
That's awesome.
But I don't discourage any family members from, like, if they want to give my baby something or if they want to give us something, my kids know, you say thank you so much, because I always tell them, I'm like, just because we don't do something doesn't mean that that person didn't give that to you because they love you.
Exactly.
If you deny that, that can be hurtful, you know, especially if somebody's purchased that, you know. So my kids are always, thank you so much, and you know they're happy, you know. They're like, thank you so much, you know. And so it's so funny. So like another thing, so like Amazon is a huge thing. Y'all guys know this. It's a huge thing. We can't get away from it. Online shopping, it is what it is. So like family members, they're not all super close to us, so they'll Amazon something for the kids. The rule in this house, it's just a funny rule that we do, whether it be a birthday, a holiday, whatever. If a gift comes for you in the mail, you can open it right then and there. There's no waiting.
I love that so much.
So they literally will be so excited. And then my son literally will be the first one. He's like, well, you know, it's not about, you know, just opening gifts on December, Mom. And look, and then he's just so happy, you know, this way.
I love that.
So
he's got the right attitude. Yeah.
Oh
that's the
my
right
gosh.
attitude.
So what kind of
Casey,
things do you do, Casey?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Casey, you got a new baby in the family, and you need to you need to listen up, because I have a feeling Uncle Casey is going to be losing his mind when it comes to this baby and buying all the things. I just need to ask you. Y'all know we record these.
You know, I'm called Uncle Cray Cray.
Okay, so that's going to be a thing. So look, Uncle Cray Cray, it is still October right now when we be recording. I'm giving it away. How many gifts have you already bought your big tongue? Can you count them on one hand? Yo, see?
Apparently,
he shouldn't be.
Well, let me say, because I knew what Carmen was going to say, I got like a pre-December one, because it's not about just in December.
You're going to be letting her open them all through. You'll be like, hey, baby girl, you're going to have to open all these in November into December, because we got to make sure we're not commercializing all this.
I will say, even though I joke about it, I have not gotten that much, only because she is only 6 months.
Yeah.
And one thing, we were joking before, I say that I'm the newbie Christian, is one thing that I'm trying to learn is my relationship with Christ through December.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I really want to bestow upon my niece and my future children, is that part of it is the most important.
Yeah.
Right.
You can still have the other commercialized parts. But one thing that when I first started like really getting back into my faith, was somebody challenged me to read the book of Luke every night for the month of December.
There we go.
It is so interesting. And really the funny thing is all four of us are on the Christmas story little collab that I did a couple of years
Yeah.
reading the book of Luke. So being able to read scripture and it all makes sense in your head. Like
Yeah.
the nativity scene is not just a cartoon that
Yeah.
you saw as a child on TV. Like it's
Yeah.
a real thing. And I also do Advent Sunday. Like we have the Advent light that we
Mhm.
do prayer and scripture. It's kind of tied into all of that. And that's one thing that I really want to give her as
Yeah.
she gets older. Because
Yeah.
listen, grandma, my mother is going to spoil her anyways. So if I can instill that in her, that would make me feel whole, jolly, and all that. So yeah.
And just like the thing Monica was talking about, the shepherds, the nativity thing of hiding. So we
Mhm.
did, when our kids were a little bit smaller, I want to say we just stopped it like 2 years ago. We did shepherd, a little shepherd similar. I forget what it's called, but it comes with a book. And you read the story, and then it has a little shepherd doll. And then we did the same thing. We hid them all around the house all the time. And when I tell
Yep.
you, the kids were like thrilled to find that thing. And there was no magic behind it. It wasn't like the elf in the shelf where it's like,
I was going to say, is it kind of like that?
no,
No.
we
Yeah.
literally just
Well,
stuffed it in crevices of the house and you had to find it.
Oh.
Like there was no like it wasn't alive or anything.
Yeah. These
You know,
three
but-
wise men are like little, ours are like little wooden doll things. They're on my Vlogmas. I showed it on my Vlogmas the last couple of years, and my kids will be fist fighting to try to find these. I'm like, y'all, I think we've surpassed the meaning of the season if we're fist fighting over the wise men. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to us. Now my kids are older now. Now it got like extreme. Like hiding that shepherd, like it got extreme. Like he was on the roof at one point. And I was just like, okay, this is too much. No more.
yeah. That's awesome. Well, one thing that I have done with the grandchildren, I did last year, is they have a scavenger hunt, and it is a clue could be one clue leads to another clue that leads to another clue that you actually end up at a present, which the gift was a weekend with grandmom and granddaddy and going to the trampoline park. But they really like that because it's like, go to the biggest room in the house and look for 2 eyeballs underneath a sink or something, crazy.
Yeah.
And so they have to really think, and they have to work together. All 4 of them have to work together to figure out where to go next to be able to do that. Now it takes some thought. And I did, for the first time that I did it, I put a Bible verse with each one, as far as a Christmas Bible verse with each one. And each one, and at that time, I left a little teeny gift for each of them in each spot. But it was like, little candle, be the light of Jesus, and
that's awesome.
those kinds of things. There's a lot of work. So it got to the point where it was just go find the double eyes underneath the sink kind of thing.
Well, that's the hardest part with kids.
Yeah.
Is if you put the bar here,
Yeah.
it happens that you can't go down. Like you have to keep the bar here or go higher. Like
It's bad. It was bad. But honestly, I've heard them talk when I was like in the next room. I've heard them talk about different things. And then, what do you like about Christmas? I love the scavenger hunt. Don't y'all just love the scavenger hunt?
Oh,
So
I love that.
it was like, okay, dang it, I have to keep doing it. But it's still fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's
to do that kind of
fantastic.
stuff.
I mean, those are the things that our kids are going to remember. Those are the things that you remember about your grandparents, you remember about your parents, you remember those things about the holidays that, we really did make it more memorable and more fun. And I think that that's one of the things you can do with Christmas, really keep them grounded and keep them without worrying about, like with Carmen and I, when we really were, I mean, I was the same way, Carmen. Like I literally remember the tree, and my mom had 3 separate piles, and the piles were so big. And I remember when my son, he's 25 now. I remember my son was born. He was the very first grandkid. He was the very first great grandkid. And my dad has 7 sisters, and my mom has 2. And so everybody wanted to give Caleb these gifts. I mean, this kid was so sick of opening gifts. Even by the time he was 2, he was still the only one. And he was like, and I'm like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I was so grateful, but it was so overwhelming. And I felt bad for him. And I felt bad for the people that were giving him gifts because they had such joy in that, but he was exhausted.
Yes.
Can I save this for his birthday in February? And so I literally, I didn't even give him anything. I was like, I'm not giving this joker anything. He don't need nothing from me. He gonna get stuff from these people. And so like his first 2 Christmases, I got him a little stuffy or a little thing. And then everything else was all the grands because we were living on a missionary salary for that second year. And I ain't playing with that. I'm like, y'all can do what you need to do. But I mean, you get so overwhelmed. And that really does take away the meaning and there's the idea of what Christmas is really about. And so keeping it more focused on what you really want to focus on for Christmas is really the most important thing of not being commercialized, right? Not falling into the trap of feeling the stress of buying for everybody, feeling the stress of getting your tree up at a certain time and not being judged for putting it up at, properly. You know how many people say to me, you put your Christmas up before Thanksgiving? I'm like, yeah, I do. I do. I know Casey's hardcore judging me. But here's the thing. It makes my husband happy and I'll do whatever it takes to make him happy. Now I ain't leaving it up till February 3rd or 4th or 8th or whatever. It comes down before the middle of February because that would make him happy too. But the minute I take it down, I'm called the Grinch, by the way. In the first week of February, I'm a Grinch. But no, I mean that's what makes people, enjoy the season and really focus on what the true thing is and not really focus on Christ and not really making it about the commercial of all of it, right? Not just buying and stressing and all the things.
Well, the experiences. I mean, I think all of us have kind of touched on that as a whole as the experience or the memories you have from an experience. And one thing that I have done the last year is the simmer pots, because one thing for any holiday that I remember are smells, whether it's good smells, bad smells, we go harp on the good smells. And that's a handmade way of giving someone an experience.
Yeah.
They can have, every daily if they want to.
That's awesome.
And it's really cheap to do. Like it's something that you don't have to stress out about. And how the Christmas tree brings Eric peace. The smell of pine and orange and cranberry and cinnamon brings me peace. Like to smell that, it's a warm Christmas. Well, that plus hot cocoa with peppermint vodka. But we won't get into that side of my Christmas memory. We'll just talk about simmer pots. And have any of y'all done a simmer pot before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it a few times, but our thing is cookies. We still do lots and lots of cookies because, I mean, who doesn't love cookies first off? And then my kids are like, wait, it's like fall, and as soon as it hits like fall, it's like, okay, this is when like the pumpkin comes out. So it's like pumpkin bread, pumpkin muffins, and then it hits like the end of things. Like as soon as Thanksgiving hits, that night we put our winter village up, and then they're like, when are we making cookies?
My kids actually watch certain we make a whole movie list of we watch all the commercialized Christmas movies, even though we don't celebrate half of them. Like we don't celebrate a lot of that stuff, but my kids be watching like Santa Claus Comes to Town because why not? It's fun. It's pretend, it's fun. And we make a Christmas movie list that we can choose from. So any day where we have time as a family to watch a movie, we will pick one from that list. Okay, we're going to watch, this movie now. It's going to be Mickey's Christmas Carol tonight. And we all, pile in the living room, turn the lights off and drink hot cocoa. And of course, I've already made cookies and we're going to eat cookies. And, my daughter White Christmas on there. She's like, we have to watch White Christmas and watch Holiday Inn afterwards. I mean, there's classics you got to get in.
BTW listeners, like when you're listening now, both me and Monica have Vlogmases that are coming out as this podcast is airing. We do it every year, and that's where I learned about the movie list. Was Monica? Monica told me one year, she's like, "Yeah, boy, we write it. We started in November. It's a long list. These kids be writing all the movies." And I did that last year, and it's so much fun because it truly is again that experience and being able to sit down, have the hot cocoa and sugar cookies, whatever your munching on to,
Yeah.
to
That's awesome.
We post up and eat dinner in the living room. They're like, can we just eat in the living room and watch Christmas with the Cranks or whatever? But we're also not allowed to watch certain movies too far away. Like you can't be watching like Mickey's Christmas Carol on December 1st. You got to push that to like December 15th. There's certain rules that the kids have made up. Like some of them, they're like, "Ooh, it's not Home Alone time yet, Mom." And I'm like,
Right.
"Oh man!" But they remember those things, and they love those moments. And for me,
Yeah.
that is what keeps it not so commercialized. And we try to really focus on family and what we really truly believe that God wants us to spend time together, talking
Yes.
about Him and praying for others and gifting others the gifts, whether it's time, experiences. Carmen said they do a lot of missionary work. They do a lot of working out in the, volunteer work. Whether it's we stuff boxes each year for Operation Christmas Child. That's a huge experience. If your kids are older than 13, you can go to a local place and stuff boxes. You can serve at at one of the different, shelters. You can do so many things to help in your
Yes.
community.
Also,
And that's,
I encourage too, like because Christmas time, December, is a big time where everyone does charity work.
yeah,
Could also be one of the families that kind of does it all in December, but has like a pile to where you can kind of stretch it to like once December is over, you can start giving to those same places in January. Like
Yeah.
you could do it all in December, but have
Yeah.
like a special few bins to where
Yeah.
you don't give your stuff out until January, because what happens in a lot of these charities is
Mhm.
January or December is packed with help, right? So all
Right.
these people are receiving all these things and it's a huge blessing. And then as soon as they get like mid-January to February, they're already out of like everything. Like
Yeah.
it's because
Okay.
they gave the abundance, whatever that they should be receiving those donations in that way anyway, hopefully, but they don't. So then by February, it's like all the people who gave in November, November through first week of January, it's like all their stuff they're not giving anymore. So just encouraging spreading that out, and
Okay.
explain to your kids why.
Right.
Because I always tell my kids, I'm like, you know what? I'm so happy that so many people are giving in November, December.
Yeah.
It's like, but you know what? Those same people in need are going to be in need in January, February, and March.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so maybe even extra things, like if like I've always been this way, even gifts like for like birthdays and stuff, like there are going to be extra gifts that we receive that my kids may be a little too old for.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
like, you know how it is. It's not that they're not grateful, but if my kids are not going to play with it and stuff like that, we're going to receive it, but we're going to give it. We have
Yeah.
piles and different bins that we have to where like if we see someone in need or if we see a little girl, like we meet people all the time. We have people come to the church just the past 2 weeks. We've had 3 families come to the church after service asking for help.
Oh,
And so I like to have something to where I can be like, you know what, even not just give help grocery wise or bills wise, which we do, like if we can, but to have give a little girl a doll or
yeah.
like a little
Oh, yes.
glistening bedazzled backpack that my daughter got and she's not going to wear because she's 13.
Right.
Those kids don't get stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what they get? They get groceries, they get bread, and they're so thankful. Those babies, they don't get Barbies and they don't get, an extra special backpack. Foster families, like a lot of people kind of forget to give to the foster families and like children in those homes, like they don't get much. I mean, like their idea of Christmas to them, like just to even receive a cookie is a big deal.
Yeah.
So be sure not only just to give in December, like if you only can afford to give in December, put it all in a box.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then bring that box out in January, February and give to that same charity around that time. I try to remember that because I'm telling you, there's such an influx of help and love in December because it just brings, they call it the spirit of Christmas,
Yes.
But then we need to help also in January, February, because those babies are still in need.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's such a great idea. I mean, I think that now we're talking about non-commercialized Christmas. Hopefully, we've got your gears going and you're thinking about all the things that you can do. Maybe you can make one little change in your commercialized, maybe the things that you are doing, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, these are some great tips. I love that. So maybe that's one of the traditions that I want to start working on this year. Or maybe I'll decommercialize a little bit more and say, okay, guys, we volunteer now, but why don't we just hold some stuff so that in February we can go ahead and give, because that is such a great way to think ahead and really be prepared. As farmers, as homesteaders, we always are thinking a season or two ahead. So why not do that when it comes to our giving and our charity and things that we do? Because I feel like really, truly, that's one of the things God wants us to do is give all year, not just in the season of giving. So I hope that we have got you thinking. I hope that we have brought you out of maybe your comfort zone a little bit and you've thought about different ways where you can decommercialize this holiday season, because I know I've got some great ideas now. I'm super excited to be able to share all the things that we've done and learn from everybody here. So hopefully you've learned a little bit from us too. Thank you again, Carmen, so much for coming back and, coming in and enjoying time to be with. We enjoy you being here so much. And we just really do thank you guys so much for watching. We invite you to come back tomorrow. And we're going to just talk some more about the things that maybe will decommercialize this season for you as well. And if you have some ideas and things that we didn't talk about, make sure you pop in tomorrow because we want to hear them. Write them in the comments section or come in tomorrow into our live so that we can talk to you then. And we're there 7 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays right after this podcast. So come back tomorrow. Come back next week. We'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Hay Bale Friends, and Casey and Monica.